Hello, good morning, and welcome to Morning Delight. It's another interesting time on the show. My name is John Ime. I welcome you to the show, your show, my show. We have a whole lot lined up for you, all our usual lineup on the show. We have Words of Wisdom, Inspirational Words. We have Fit and Fresh, all through entertainment, sports for your viewing pleasure. So, before we go any further on the show, let me give you our first teaser, which is Words of Wisdom. I always like this Words of Wisdom segment. Let's see some inspirational quotes on Words of Wisdom. That was our Words of Wisdom segment. Following Words of Wisdom, we have Fit and Fresh.
Fit and Fresh today looks at cardiovascular exercises and activities that are ideal to boost cardio health. A term refers to the health of the heart and blood vessels. Basically, cardio exercises guide against diseases like high blood pressure, heart attack, and stroke, among other benefits. Our gym instructor walks us through.
When you work out, you keep fit, you are stable, you're strong, you have stamina, and you stay healthy. Most importantly, what you eat is what you are. So if you want to go into fitness, you have to control what you eat. Most times it's not by abstaining. Sometimes it's portion control for those that eat healthy. For those that eat healthy meals and they still like have fat, what they do is just portion control. Or some persons that do more of processed food, sugar, they have to cut it off so they can see improvements.
I'm a business person. I always like do strenuous work, but sometimes when I lift things, I feel tired. I start having chest pain, I start having pain all over my body, like sleep almost 24 hours a day just to like regain the lost strength. But you see, as I had coming to the gym, it was better. Although the first 4 days I started the gym, it was hell, like hell, I won't lie. It was really hell because I felt so much pain because my muscles were weak. But after like 1 week, like you see, I can do very well. I can jog very well, I can walk, I can lift like things I could not imagine I can lift. And when I walk some distance, I don't feel tired. I feel this strong and healthy movement around me.
Do remember, while you are working hard at your exercises, a healthy, balanced diet is also important, as they both work hand in hand for a healthy and disease-free lifestyle.
That was Fit and Fresh. I hope you had a kind of nice time watching Fit and Fresh. We'll take a short break. I'll be right back.
Do you live in Aduawa and environs, or you need a conducive and open field in Aduawa for your wedding receptions, birthday parties, annual ceremonies, family or corporate events in a serene and conducive environment that is close to nature? Then look no further. Nta Benin Aduawa is a place for you. Nta Benin Aduawa has a large field for all your events and ceremonies. Also, at NTA Corporate Headquarters TV Road, we have a state-of-the-art fully air-conditioned ultra-modern hall for all kinds of indoor events with a standby generating set, therefore ensuring uninterrupted power supply. We also have NTA Pavilion for all outdoor events at the same venue. Guess what? Our prices are affordable, locations are easily accessible, venues conducive and highly secured. Our outside broadcast van is available 24 hours and can broadcast your events live. And above all, you can air your events on our award-winning program like Events and Style. And any booking on the field or hall gets a bonus of free news coverage. Wow! What are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity and have your celebration in a grand style. For inquiries and bookings, please call Nta Benin, the award-winning station.
All right, welcome back to Morning Delight. We are on to our guest segment of the show, and I have a guest in the house. He is Barrister Austin Odigie. But before we meet him, let's see his picture frame. That was his picture frame there. You are highly welcome to the program Morning Delight, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for honoring us.
Thank you for having me here.
We are looking at 2025 in retrospect. That's our topic for today.
Yes, sir.
So now I want to ask, my first question is, let's look at the most significant event that happened in 2025 in your own perspective.
Thank you very much. I think if you ask my opinion, the most significant event 2025 was the arrival of Donald Trump on the world stage. It triggered off a lot of things, beginning with the Ukrainian situation. Until the arrival of Donald Trump, the war in Ukraine seemed to have been very comfortable. But since his arrival, you have seen the Ukrainian president moving from country to country, in fact, looking for a way to survive. And as you have heard Donald Trump say again and again, if he was president, this war would not have started in the first place, meaning that there were some persons, some countries, some nations behind that encouraged the situation. So today, the arrival of Donald Trump has altered that scenario. That is as far as the international community goes. But let's come back home. If you ask me, the arrival of Donald Trump has signified a major change in agenda in our country, Nigeria, today. Before now, we were experiencing all sorts of insecurities. Daily bombing of churches, kidnappings here and there. At the level of the international community, to a very large extent, they pretended like it wasn't just happening. But recently, the nation has been made to realize there's a new sheriff ruling the international community. And he has said, I can't continue to see this happening. There is genocide happening against the Christians in Nigeria. And today, you can see a lot of changes beginning to take place. Today, we are beginning to see our military personnel embark on aggressive attack upon the enemies. So we can't say that his coming on board has not altered the scenario in Nigeria. Donald Trump, for me, has altered the economy. His war with China, his tax regime against the European community has set the whole of Europe rolling. Today, Europeans are no longer at ease because they have a new sheriff ruling the international coast. So, for me, the greatest so far is the arrival of Donald Trump on the international scene.
So let's look at the economic landscape now. How has it evolved, the economic landscape in 2025? How can you assess the economic landscape, both foreign and in Nigeria?
Economically?
Yes.
I think that Nigerians are just learning to come out of the deep hole that the nation fell into by the sudden removal of the subsidies. There has been a lot of arguments pro and against subsidy removal. If you ask me, I really don't have any issue against the removal, but I am radically opposed to the sudden removal without plans at all. So it affected the nation radically. It affected us in every way. Let's start from transportation. Farmers were unable to move their goods from a farm to the marketplaces. That alone destroyed the foundation of the economics. And then you talk about international trade. By the removal of a subsidy, the value of our currency deepened, and therefore it became more and more difficult for our traders to get in goods into the country. So what hitherto was selling, for instance, for 20,000 naira was coming in at 100,000 naira because of the state of the economy. Yeah. But however, like I said, Nigerians are gradually stabilizing. We have come to terms with the fact that the subsidies have been removed and we are going to survive one way or the other. You can see what is going on at the level of the petroleum industry now. Yeah. I'm not a petroleum expert, but I think that with what is coming out from the Dangote refinery, somehow we are getting
able to stabilize
some stabilization.
Yes.
Help is coming the way of a poor man. If it continues like this, though there are some who argue that, look, this is heading towards a monopoly, but for now we are not seeing it that way. For now we are seeing an attempt to bring down the price of fuel. When fuel comes down, goods can come easily from the hinterlands into the city centers. When you have food, for instance, available in town, hunger is reduced. When hunger is reduced, crime is reduced. When crime is reduced, the people heave a sigh of relief. So gradually Nigerians are getting used to it. My only fear is the new tax regime that is coming on board next year. We are looking at it right now like a mirage. There have been so much attempts to explain that it's not going to do a lot of havoc. The way I look at it is this. The poor man might suffer to a very large extent. But I know that there are billions and billions that are in banks that are going to be taxed. So it's not just the cry of a poor man alone. You see, monies that have been stolen over the years, they are in different accounts belonging to different politicians. I think that the new tax regime will eat seriously into those resources. So when I hear the president's wife saying next year the nation will be borrowing money, I'm thinking that they have done their calculation.
Exactly.
They have said that they are going to rake in so much money from starting with our president, who is, I want to call him a trillionaire. His monies are in the bank. They will be taxed. I am sure that what will come from the president's personal revenue resources will pay a lot of workers' salaries. I'm sure. So it's going to be very interesting next year.
Okay, when you were talking about Dangote refinery,
Yes.
you talked about stabilizing the petroleum industry. Before now, December period is always time for fuel scarcity. Do you think the coming on board of that Dangote refinery is going to ensure that there will be no fuel scarcity during this Ember month, during this Christmas period?
The way I look at it is that the factors that will drive fuel scarcity, they go beyond the
refinery
Dangote's reduction in prices.
Yeah.
You see, as I said earlier, Nigerians are settling down to the new realities. In time past, an Igbo man, for instance, in Lagos, prepares himself and his family to head home in December, and if you look at what he's putting in, big time resources. Now he sits down today and he says, do we really need to go as a family? The man in Sokoto thinking of coming to Benin, he sits down to ask himself, should I really make this journey? Then the other question is, even if I must go see my people, should it be this season? I think that a lot of Nigerians have adjusted their schedule. Not many people will be willing to travel. Not many people. Don't also forget that we are in a world where by virtue of the social media, you are in Benin, you go on the Skype, you are on video call, you are seeing your daddy at home, you are seeing your mommy at home. That urge, as it was in the past, oh, I've not seen my dad for the whole of 2 years. We want to go home. Now you just put on your
video call.
Put on your big screen and you say, daddy, how is everything? Bring mommy on the line. You know, it has reduced, the social media has created so much fluidity in the system that a lot of people will not need to travel.
Okay.
The money is not there, the economy is not that buoyant, the incentive, and then let's not forget about the insecurity on the roads. I saw a video clip 2 days ago. The crowd at the local wing of the airport in Lagos. The crowd was like Oba Market crowd. That's the crowd of the rich.
I saw that clip too.
Very good. That's the crowd of the rich. Why are they there? Insecurity. They don't have the courage.
They prepare to fly now.
To do the long journey from Lagos to Benin, Lagos to Kano, because kidnappers are on the road. As you said, the military is just waking up. We don't expect them to do the miracle in 3 months. No, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to keep our roads safe, to return it to what it used to be 20, 35 years ago. I remember the year I did my youth service. When I was coming, when we closed camp, I served in Kwara State. Ikwata was our camp. And I came back at the end of my service, 1988. The vehicle that brought us to Benin arrived Benin 2 a.m. and we were not scared. 2 a.m. from Ilorin to Benin then. It was a very long route. But today, who wants to do that kind of journey? So, a lot of things have changed. The roads are not safe. The money is not there. The atmosphere is not. I've not had a lot of families singing. Business centers playing the Yuletide music because the mood is a sober one. In that sobriety, exactly. Not many people want to be on the road.
No more zeal of the fun of
not
Christmas.
It's not there.
Okay, sir. In your own perspective, let's look at the social and cultural trends. Let's see what do you think happened in 2025 regarding the social and cultural trend in Nigeria? Can you say yes in Nigeria?
Yes, in Nigeria, but I want to take it from an international perspective.
Okay, you are free.
See, I'm a Catholic, and I know that the year 2025 was declared the Jubilee Year of Hope by Pope Francis of blessed memory. You see, it's a religio-cultural celebration. The Jubilee was cultural and religious to the Jewish people. In Leviticus, the Lord told them, every 50 years is a Jubilee. And therefore, you celebrate it with pomp, with pageantry. In every Jubilee year, set the slaves free. In every Jubilee year, all debts are forgiven. And so on and so forth. Return to your ancestral home. Look at that expression. The Bible said, return to your ancestral home. That's what we used to do in Nigeria, like I said.
Yeah.
The Igbo man in Lagos, he returns to the east. The Hausa man, he returns to his place. So, now that cultural milieu in which the Pope declared this year, for us, was a very wonderful one. For me in particular, I really enjoyed it. I felt the presence of God telling us to return to our cultural roots. So it's not just for the Jews returning to their cultural roots, but even we Africans, we Nigerians, it's a call to return to our cultural roots. That's why I said, for me, it's a very beautiful year. I enjoyed it. I wish the church keyed properly into the traditional message of finding a way to set the captives free. People are indebted, and society is not doing anything about it. On this note, I want to appreciate the Muslims who give out loans without interest. That's what the Bible actually said. If you go to that Leviticus that I just talked about, 25, it said when you give out loans, don't take interest. And that's what the Muslims are practicing. Traditionally, we're supposed to do things like that. We're supposed to look inwards and see how we can benefit the poor amongst us. A Jubilee year is a year to return home. A Jubilee year is a year to bring back happiness, cultural practices, cultural happiness, like we see in the Igbo festival that we are celebrating today. That's what the Jubilee is about. It's a year of freedom. It's a year of appreciation. In Benin, the Oba and the chiefs and the people of Benin, they are appreciating God Almighty, who created heaven and earth in their own traditional understanding. And that's exactly what the Jubilee year is. For us Catholics, it is a year to appreciate God very specially. It happens, in those days, it used to be once in every 50 years. But now it is once in 25 years. So the year 2025, a Jubilee year, has been very culturally wonderful for us Catholics.
All right. So in your opinion, is there any surprising political events that shaped the year 2025?
For me,
yes,
if I say I'm at home with what politicians are doing this year 2025, I'll be lying. We have seen a trend whereby almost all the core politicians are moving, they are gravitating towards one political party. It has not really been like that in this country. We have enjoyed the privilege of having different big wigs in different political parties. That makes the contest beautiful. That makes it interesting. But the situation where everybody seems to be heading towards one party, some persons have called it a one-party state. I don't want to call it that way. But for me, whatever is behind it, I am not finding it funny. I give you an instance. I am surprised that a governor like Fubara would, at this point in time, decide to pitch tent with the ruling political party in the nation. I use him as an example because I felt that that's a man who is strongly entrenched in his own political party, as a staunch member of that party, who has withstood all sorts of crises, you know. So at the end of the day, we just see him turning over like, oh, for me, I'm disappointed in the actions of all those who are moving like moving in the direction the wind is blowing. It should not be like that.
Okay, let's look at the industrial sector now. Was there any special sector that you bring to the fore now that said this particular industrial sector made an impact in 2025? The industries in Nigeria. Any particular industry?
No,
I think we mentioned Dangote.
Yes, that's the only area. That's the only area that I can tell you that Nigeria made progress, and we are still progressing in that oil area. But what is troubling me is a few years ago we read about so many modular refineries coming up in
coming on board,
states.
yes.
But
we heard something like that.
They don't seem to have made any positive impact, and nobody is giving us any explanation why they are not working. I'm looking at the shipping industry. I read in the papers a lot of innovations they have introduced to try and make goods come in faster and allow goods also exit faster. But I really don't think that we have seen so much of the impact.
Okay, let's leave the industry. Okay, carry on.
Let me tell you one thing.
Yes.
The only other critical area that I want to give kudos to,
yes,
is in the area of the solar panel and solar industry.
Yes.
I have observed that in the last 5 years, but most critically in the last 2 years, a lot of homes have come up with solar panels. You see, that industry, I don't know who is powering it, but they are beginning to do very well. A lot of offices today are operating on the solar panels being provided by these industries. I think that some banks are involved in this development. I said this because I ran into a solar service provider who mentioned to me that banks are bankrolling them and giving the consumers a period within which to pay for the solar,
like paying instrumentally.
Yes, instrumental payment. I think that this is a very good development. You see what happened to the issue of water in this country, particularly in my dear Benin State and Edo State. When we were growing up, water board was functioning everywhere.
Yes.
But the time came when it ceased to function.
Yes.
And then there was hardship. People were carrying buckets and basins on their heads looking for water. But today, there are boreholes everywhere. And we have left water board to their industry.
Yes.
I am sure not many Nigerians know where their office is in Benin now. And that's what's going to happen very soon. Nigerians will abandon PACN to their fate. You will see almost every house, you will see solar panels everywhere, and we'll just be happy with ourselves. That's why I said Nigerians, we have this habit, we know how to survive. God has given us the grace, He has given us the ability, and like I said, I want to thank those who came up with the idea that, we can give you this thing, pay instrumentally, and remove yourself from the wahala of PACA. May God bless them.
All right, sir. Coming from your area of expertise now, are there any surprising things that happened in 2025 from your area of, let's say, from the law angle now? Anything that shaped 2025?
Well, legally, I would say that judgments have continued to roll out the way they have been.
Okay.
Very regrettably, we have continued to see situations where judges are unable to enforce their orders for one reason or the other. I don't want to go into why they are unable to. But however, I must appreciate the present CJN. Reason being this. You see, we have keyed into electronics filing of processes. We have keyed into Zoom hearing. I did a matter not too long ago. My client is in UK,
yes,
and God bless his lordship, Honorable Justice Courage Ogbebo. We set up the Zoom line, and my client testified from UK, and that was very okay, giving credence to his the claim that we have filed in the court. You see, this is a great development. We are moving from a situation where if a client is outside the country, the case is almost certified until he comes back. But right now, a client could be outside the country and the case goes on. And beyond that, I also want to appreciate a lot of the courts now.
Yeah.
We have a privilege of receiving text messages, especially from a court of appeal. You just wake up in the morning, you get a text message informing you suit number so and so is coming up so and so time. You know, it's good. We are gradually moving away from the moribund traditional approach to an enlightened approach. We are beginning to use the facilities that the Western world has made available to us. You see, these facilities were not really produced because of us, but we are privileged. We are part of the international community. They say the world is a global village. So when they produce it there, we have the money, we get the equipment here, we run the system, and it's all for the good of the society.
All right, sir, can you share a personal highlight or milestone you experienced in 2025 personally?
Yeah, see, I said earlier, I am a Catholic.
Yeah.
And aside my legal practice, every other thing about my life revolves around the church. And so if you ask me, major milestones for 2025 has to do with our areas of evangelization, rural evangelization. Hardly any much me and my Catholic men, we are not out evangelizing. For me, that gives me a sense of belonging. It's a major achievement. I wish, like Apostle Paul said, I wish that everybody would preach the gospel. The gospel is about love. We take love everywhere we go. I want to say that on a family note, I think the Lord has been very wonderful to me and my household. My second child did her passing out yesterday, where she said in Delta State, if nothing else, as a major
it's a major milestone. Congratulations.
And you know,
all right, yes. Don't worry, sir, let's move on.
Yes.
Let's go into Nigerian foreign policy now. Nigeria has been blacklisted on the issuance of visa. How do you think our foreign, as of the whole of 2025, how do you think our foreign policy, did we have a shortfall in our foreign policy?
No, we didn't actually have any shortfall. Like they say, he that is down need fear no fall. Our foreign policies actually have revolved around the same circles.
Yeah.
I want to refer to it as circle of lies. We have not been honest with our policies. See the way governance goes. A government comes out with its appropriation bill, And the international community is watching you to see how much of your budget is actually executed. And you must know one thing. International communities, they have their people everywhere. They are watching. I don't think that we have changed our pattern at all. If you ask how much of last year's budget has been achieved this year, let's start from our side of this country. 2 years ago, Benin Auchi Road was like this. Benin Saple Road was the way it is. And there are appropriations here. And the international community is watching you. Monies have been appropriated, but are they being utilized? Are our roads getting better? You see, we can deceive ourselves, but we can't deceive the international community. They give us a lot of financial support. These things are meant to go to the poorest of the poor. They call it, I don't know, a lot of them, they come through, some come through the states, some come through the local governments. These funds, they come in from the international community and they are monitored. And I can tell you that the bulk of these resources don't get to the people. And the international community is watching. And so that's why I say, we are where we are. We have not really changed. What we did 10 years ago is exactly what we are still doing today. So we have not demonstrated enough goodwill. You know what one of the American presidents said about Nigeria? He said it is the lack of structures that is the problem. It is the structures that make things work. If we release 10 billion, there must be structures to monitor the outflow, and there must be structures to get a return. You must get a report back for every kobo that leaves the coffers. But these things are not there.
Okay, sir, let's look at our labor market now.
Yes.
How was our workplace in 2025, and how do you think it can evolve in 2026? Let's look at our labor unions, our workplace environment in Nigeria.
Talking about workplace environment, I can only address the Edo State situation.
Of course.
Because I have hardly gone to other offices in other states. You see, the workplace environment in Edo State is not a one-day affair. I can tell you this, that 15, 20 years ago, when you walk into the office of a permanent secretary, you meet him fanning himself with his daily newspaper. But all of that has changed over the years. Forgetting the lot of negative things that have happened over the years, we also look at positive things. Workers in Edo State were given very conducive atmosphere. They were allowed the freedom, the joy of walking into an office and you feel like you are almost in the foreign, you are on foreign soil. I want to see more public offices built in Edo State. We want to see, I'm a lawyer, I want to see more courts renovated in rural areas. We want to see bailiffs and all provided with the instruments of their office so that they can move from place to place. Today, some lawyers are unable to move from their base to where they are supposed to handle cases because provisions have not been made for them. But that is not to say government is not trying. To a very, very large extent, they are also trying. I am saying that in Edo State, what we have seen over the years is a radical transformation workers in Edo State, they can say to themselves that they have been favored. Very certainly. I can witness to that, because my job takes me to a lot of places apart from courts. You go to the hospitals in the past, you won't know the difference between the mortuary and the public units. But today a lot of those things have changed. The hospital, the central hospital in Benin, I'm talking of the new look hospital, central hospital. When you go there, you get all the facilities you need. You are encouraged. You know something about an environment is that an environment helps you to overcome depression. Environment helps you to overcome some kind of personal, feelings that makes a man happy or unhappy. So to that extent, I want to appreciate government for what they have done for the workers, and of course to the people. And their salaries have been very regular. And I'm sure that even as we are preparing for Christmas now, I'm very sure that His Excellency is already preparing Christmas package for the workers. It's been coming down over the years, and we encourage them to continue in that spirit. That I can say for Edo State.
Okay, sir. So now let's look at. Let me ask you a last question here now.
Yes.
We've talked about 2025.
Yes.
What are your expectations for 2026?
I expect 2026 to be more productive. See, the arrival of the Trump syndrome is encouraging our people to return to the bushes. Is encouraging our vigilantes to wake up and protect the forest. When we protect the forests, we'll get food. When we have food, our people will be happy. As I said, the new tax regime looks draconian right now. But I think if, as the president's wife said, that soon the nation is going to be giving out loans, that means we are going to be in a position to provide for our people, reduce bank lending rates, and also provide bursaries for our students. Right now, students are paying excessively for their education. But if, as the president is promising, that next year is going to be better, I expect that in some higher institutions they should reduce their tuition. They should make some provisions for their students. I give you an example. When students are writing their projects, they go through a lot of financial hardship. We expect that if things get better next year, they should take care of the students. Liberalize the situation. Some persons have argued that no, they are making education something for the rich. So if you have heard that is what they are saying, it's your duty now to turn it around and say, no, education is for everybody.
All right, Barrister Austin Odighe, we are grateful that you came to Morning Delight today. We have high expectations for 2026. I know 2026 will be way better than 2025. Thank you for coming on Morning Delight. We are grateful.
Very much.
All right, that was Barrister Austin Odighe, a legal practitioner. Let's move on Morning Delight, but before then, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Redemption Furnitures. Redemption Furniture, the home of quality furniture making. For all kinds of home and office furnitures and interior decorations, supply of office equipment and general contract. Our headquarters is at number 68 Arosa Street off First East Circular Road, Benin City. Our branch office is at 37 First East Circular Road, Benin City. Our telephone number is 080-333-95362 or 08058111447. I repeat, 08033395362 or 08058111447. Redemption Furniture. We also have a standby delivery van for your express delivery. The Redemption Furniture in the city.
All right, welcome back to Morning Delight. Up next is entertainment news.
Tiwa Savage, the undisputed queen of Afrobeat, has achieved a massive career milestone, officially crossing 800 million streams across all credits on Spotify. This marks a definitive moment for an artist who has been a pioneering force in the global race of Afrobeat. This achievement makes her only the 24th Nigerian artist and the third female to reach this benchmark, cementing her status as a long-lasting and influential figure in the industry. This accomplishment highlights a sustained relevance in the field long dominated by men counterparts. The latest stream count isn't just about raw numbers. It's a testament of a durable career built on talent, resilience, and a sound that keeps listening. Locked in. A major update in the death of Friends star Matthew Perry. A California doctor is headed to federal prison for his role in the actor's drug addiction. Judge Sherilyn Peace sentenced 44-year-old Dr. Salvador Plasencia to 2.5 years behind bars. While the judge clarified Plasencia did not supply the specific dose that killed Perry, she delivered the stern warning. She told the doctor he helped lead Perry down the deadly road by continuing to sell to him ketamine despite knowing he was struggling with serious addiction. Plasencia is the first of 5 to be sentenced in this high-profile case. Perry, who was beloved by millions, died from a ketamine overdose at age 54. The doctor will also serve 2 years of probation following his release.
Oh, I had a nice time on that entertainment news today. Yes, it's always nice hearing what's going on in the entertainment scene. Following the entertainment news, we are going to give you highlights of what happened during the week. Let's see highlights.
The state government has launched a 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day embalmed with a sum of 10 million naira and pledged commitment to prioritizing welfare of the nation's foreign hero. Governor Monday Okpebholo announces during the launch and urged veterans to deploy with experiences through effective collaboration with the state government in tackling insecurity. However, January 15 every year is observed as a day to remember all our fallen heroes who had died during service in safeguarding the unity of the nation. Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has presented a 939 billion naira appropriation bill for the 2026 fiscal year to the State Assembly for consideration and approval. He stated that 637 billion naira, representing 68% in the proposal, is tied to capital projects. He said the proposal reflects his administration's determination to drive rapid socio-economic growth and unlock new opportunities. Hence, the sum of 302 billion naira, representing 32%, is embarked for recurrent spending, reflecting expansion in personal obligations and administrative needs in the year 2026. The House commended the governor for his achievement in 1 year and promised to accelerate passage of the budget.
All right, it's time for our sport lovers. We have sport news for you today. Let's see some sport news today.
Nigeria kick off their 2025 African Cup of Nations AFCON campaign with a slim 2-1 victory over Tanzania, thanks to goals from Semi Ajayi and Ademola Lookman. The Super Eagles started strongly, with Victor Osimhen and Lookman causing early problems for the Tanzanian defense. Nigeria's first real chance came in the 11th minute when Chukwueze corner found Ekon Adam, whose shot was saved by the Tanzania goalkeeper. Tanzania responded with long-range efforts, but Super Eagles goalkeeper Stanley Wabali kept his side on course. Nigeria eventually broke the deadlock. In the 36 minutes, Alex Iwobi looped cross found Ajayi, who powered the header into the net to give Nigeria a 1-0 lead. The halftime ended with Nigeria holding the advantage despite Tanzania showing glimpses of attacking intent in the wet condition. The second half began in spectacular fashion. Tanzania Umbawa equalized in the 15th minute, slotting a lofted delivery into the bottom left corner. Nigeria responded almost immediately when Lookman collecting the ball outside the box and firing the left-footed strike past Musidi in the 52 minutes to restore the Super Eagles lead. Substitution followed as Nigeria introduced Simon Moses, Fisayo Dele Bashir and Paul Onachu, while Tanzania brought on John, Job and Mbaga to boost their attack. Tanzania came close late on, with John flashing a low shot wide in the 83rd minute. But Nigeria held firm to secure all 3 points. The win gives Nigeria a perfect start to their Group C campaign, while Tanzania will look to bounce back in their next fixtures. That's it for Sport Rail.
All right, welcome back from that sports news. Yes, we have come to the end of another exciting edition. This is the end of the year 2025, and I want to say there are a lot of people who made this program what it is. We are going to celebrate in the studio today. You have been seeing the presenters, but there are a lot of people behind the scenes doing all the work to make sure that you get to see your favorite program. So right now on the program, the whole crew is coming on the set of Money in the Light. Let's come together and say bye-bye to 2025. Yes. These are the crew of Money in the Light. Wow. A great year. We are all going to put our hands together. Everybody.
When I say money, say life.
All right. Till we see you again, same station, same time next week. My name is John Ime, and everybody say bye.